ultimate purpose of creating man wasn't just to have a relationship with Hashem, but to have a relationship with other people as well. And through that relationship, man is meant to express and mimic, so to speak, God's ways. We're taught that just as God is compassionate and merciful, we are meant to be compassionate and merciful in this world as well. By emulating God's ways, we connect with Hashem in a very, very, very special way. So even though man had this connection to Hashem, from the perspective of the world around him, man was alone. And regarding that point, the Torah says, Lo tov heyot hadam levado. It is not good for man to be alone. So Hashem decides to make him a wife, an ezer kenegdo. Now, the standard explanation of this idea that it's not good for man to be alone and God made him a wife is simply that, that man by himself is lonely and he's not able to share his life experience with somebody. There's an alternative explanation to the verse that opens up a whole nother dimension to what's going on over here, and it connects back with really the essence of what man is and what his purpose is in this world. And this is explained like this. Lo tov heyot ha'adam levado. We invert the verse. We read it backwards and say that if man is alone, then he cannot be good. What does it mean to be good? Being good in truth is to be like Hashem. Hashem is the essence of good. And what is that essence of being good? So we're taught that God created the world to give of his goodness. In Hebrew it reads, hatov lehetiv, that the nature of the good is to bestow good. So the idea of doing good in Hebrew is from the same word tov. Lehetiv is from the same word tov. So the verb, so to speak, of being good in action is to lehetiv, to be benevolent and do good for others. So what Hashem is essentially saying over here is, as long as man is by himself, he can't really be good, because the essence of good is to be like Hashem. Hashem created the world to give of his goodness, and man was created to be like him and be in a world and give of his goodness to mankind, more specifically to his wife. The very first relationship a man ever, the main relationship that a man has in his life is with his wife. So Hashem says it's not good for man to be alone. I'll make him a wife. He'll share his life with this woman, the man and the woman sharing their life together, and they have an opportunity now to be good to each other. And that's the essence of marriage. We'll see how much it runs to the core of what marriage is really built on. But anyway, based on that, we can appreciate this reading of the verse, Lo tov heyot adam levado, that man cannot be good as long as he's by himself. So Hashem makes him this woman. Beautiful. And they live happily ever after. Not. Of course, we know that problems come in marriage. In their marriage, big problem came, the great sin from the tree of knowledge. We have to know that marriage is not, just like a fantasy, a vacation. Life involves a lot of work. Sometimes you argue, but we have to work through all of this. But let's get to the foundation of what it is, the main key ingredient to building a proper marriage. And what does the Torah tell us about this? What kind of light does the Torah shed on the key ingredient to developing a proper marriage? Well, we all can appreciate that without love, there is no real marriage. So we would suggest that love is the foundation of marriage. And of course, with that love comes expressing it, and comes respect and appreciation of one another. But really, the foundation of marriage that unite husband and wife is love. That's why the Torah actually says that man, once God created woman, man leaves his home and becomes attached to his wife. It says, basar echad. Man and woman become one. They become one flesh. They unite as one. And what does the Torah tell us? What does it mean exactly that man and woman unite as one? So interestingly enough, if we take the word one, in Hebrew it's echad. The letters are aleph, chet, and dalet. So the gematria of echad is 13. Very special number. Why is it so special? Because it's the same gematria of the word ahava. So we see the Torah is hinting to us what is the element, what is it that makes man and woman one is the love between them that bonds them together. And that's why the gematria of ahava, aleph, hey, bet, hey, is also 13. So love and one equal each other. Through love, that's how we unify with our spouse. But what does this mean in a practical sense? So the Lashon HaKodesh, the beautiful language of Hebrew that is built in creation, tells us also what this practically means as well, because the word love, ahava, is rooted in the word hav, to give. So what is real love? So the world thinks, that the more I get, the more I'm going to love somebody. The reverse is actually true. This teaches us that the more we give, the more we will come to love somebody. The more you give of yourself, the more invested you become in that other person, the more you love them. And marriage is the essence of that giving. If the two parties in a marriage are thinking about what I can give to the other, instead of what I can get from the other, then by mimela, each one gets and each one gives, and you have a harmonious marriage built on true love and true selflessness and true giving. So we see here that ultimately the good that God gives man through marriage is the love developed between them by emulating God, by being a giver to each other. And we see that that's the foundation of marriage.